Welcome to my 20th presentation for the team of Purchase and Contracts, and today's topic is Granular Strategies for Successful Negotiations Across the Procurement Lifecycle. Overall, this is my 106th presentation considering all the YouTube presentations that I have made so far. This presentation includes following topics: why granular negotiation strategies are important, granular strategies at the request for quotation preparation stage level, RFQ floating stage level 5 numbers, bid evaluation stage 6 numbers, 6 strategies, during negotiation meetings 9 granular strategies, seeking management approval 4 strategies, making purchase orders, work orders, agreements 6 strategies, and granular strategies forward looking 6 numbers. And of course, implications stage wise are also indicated. Why granular negotiation strategies are important? These strategies enable us to unlock strategic depth for stronger contracts and smarter deals and lead purchase and contracts professional to sustainable savings and prevent unethical dealings as highlighted below. General strategies often fail when stakes are high, timelines are tight, and vendors are experienced negotiators. What works in RFQ preparation won't work in final agreement closure. One size fits all is equivalent to missed opportunities. Identifying micro cost drivers, clause level risks, or manpower assumptions help you to ask sharper questions in case you follow these strategies. Granular strategies shift teams from reacting to vendor codes to shaping outcomes from start. A structured approach improves the cross-functional alignment and vendor perception. In this presentation, 40 granular level strategies have been captured based on my actual hands-on experience broadly at 7 stages of life cycle for contract negotiations. So the first 3 strategies are related to the RFQ and bid evaluation stage. So these are front-end strategy trio 3. One is RFQ preparation stage, RFQ floating stage, and bid evaluation stage. I'll take it this one by one. Granular strategies at the RFQ preparation stage 4 numbers. Ensuring merit-based criteria for shortlisting vendors and coordinators to whom RFQ is to be sent. Creating RFQ, ensuring customer internal and external requirements are entirely incorporated. Capturing essential aspects, clear specifications, quality standards, delivery or completion timelines, align internal specification with negotiation flexibility, including clear terms and conditions that eliminate ambiguity. Implication if strategies are not followed. Lack of clarity, scope creep, inaccurate cost estimates, vendor contract confusion, inflated costs, and project delays. At times, these RFQs are prepared by the consultants. Now, these inputs they need to be given to consultants, particularly for the large contracts. Granular strategies at the RFQ floating stage. 5 numbers. Floating to bidders that have been shortlisted on well-defined criteria and approval by the appropriate hierarchy. A balanced mix of known and new vendors is required. Ensuring that RFQ floating is not restricted to a single vendor contract, preferably at least 3 to 5 to encourage competition. Sharing RFQ changes, if any, with all bidders before holding negotiations. Giving reasonable timelines to bidders to quote. Instructing bidders to submit quotes in 2 parts. Part 1, technical part covering specification and quality aspects and to specific team members, and part 2, commercial part containing pricing and commercial terms related to the finance, legal and timelines to different team members. Use staggered opening dates for technical commercial bids. In one of my consultancy projects with the MNC, I found compromises on this which led to some unethical dealings happening. Implication strategy are not followed, limited vendor participation, bias and favoritism, missed opportunities, timelines delays, and higher pricing. Granular strategies at bid evaluation level stage. 6 numbers. 1. Maintaining confidentiality of bids circulation to those assigned responsibilities for analysis in 2 parts, part 1 technical and part 2 commercial. Ensuring that bids offers from all bidders, including the lowest, are comprehensively incorporated in comparison charts, part 1 technical aspects and part 2 commercial aspects. Focus on the value concession, not just price. I found in one of my consulting assignments this thing was also compromised. Point 3. Communicating changes, if any, in the RFQ scope, technical specification, commercial terms, or timelines with each and every bidder in writing to official mail IDs. Obtaining revised quotes from each bidder, post RFQ changes made with a common timeline targets. Shortlisting bidders who qualify for bid negotiations on a well-defined criteria as per prior approval of the management to enable a level playing field. Use a weighted scoring model. Involve cross-functional teams for multi-angle questioning. Hold internal bid evaluation meetings with the subject matter expert on technical quality matters, plus with the approving authority to get clear expectation on pricing, timelines, etc. Map L1 not just by price but risk value trade-off. Apply the total cost of ownership approach. These are the 6 very important granular strategies at the bid evaluation stage. Implications if strategies are not followed: incomplete analysis, overlooking quality, bias in selection, selection of the uncompetitive vendor contractor, selection of the unreliable vendors, and risks in delivery quality. Granular strategy during the negotiations meetings. 9 strategies are there, and this graphics shows what all is associated in this during the negotiation room meetings. There are aspects related to the agenda, pause, alternatives, bundling, multi-teams, partial closure, value focus, living notes, and reciprocity. Now, granular strategy during negotiation stage. Number one, calling each shortlisted vendor or contractor for negotiation meeting one by one as per pre-scheduled date time sequence, ensuring that participants in the meetings are authorized and as per the appropriate levels both at the vendor and contractor end and buyer end. Seeking confirmation that the vendor's contractor's understanding of the RFQ is as was intended in the RFQ or subsequent amendments and clarifications. Resolving any differences vis-a-vis any deviations. Ensuring that each point in the RFQ and course are negotiated fully. Holding the negotiation meeting at arm's length. Providing conducive negotiation environment without applying any undue pressure on the vendor or contractor. Communicating to vendor and contractor that final acceptance of negotiated rate terms would be binding only after subsequent communication. Amendments, if any, on the rates and terms to be negotiated preferably by the same team that negotiated the initial agreement. These are very important points. Implication: if strategies are not followed, reduced leverage due to lack of data, higher rates, compromises due to bias, pressure, or impulsiveness, poor contractual terms, and loss of credibility. Granular strategies for seeking management approval and purchase order making. So, closing has to be done with a foresight while taking the approval and making of the purchase order or agreement, and there are forward looking strategies which need to be pursued. Now, seeking management approval, 4 strategies. Preparing the comparative sheet accompanying management approval based on the latest quotes submitted by each vendor or contractor, ensuring that the above comparison sheet is meticulously prepared to ensure accuracy for each vendor contractor, capturing deviations in the approval note, what each vendor seeks vis-a-vis scope, and making the approval note comprehensive to highlight all aspects that can influence the finalizing vendor contractor, such as price, payment terms, and other quality parameters, completion timelines, etc. And it is desirable that 2 to 3 viable options are presented to the management before seeking approval, including the risk mitigation and value addition as selling points. Implications: if strategies are not followed, approvals without thorough review may overlook risk and errors, delay in approvals, acceptance of poor terms, escalation of project costs, vendor withdrawal. Granular strategies for making purchase orders. Ensure ordering documents incorporate scope, pricing, payment, and all the terms that are 100% aligned to those agreed with the vendor and approved by the management. Ensure that before releasing the PO or work order to an approved or vendor contractor, that the finance team vets it for accuracy towards prices, payment terms, risk perspective, and taxes. Ensure penalty and incentive clauses are mutually balanced. Ensure that legal team vets it all aspects related to the IPRS, ambiguous terms, statutory regulations, etc. Ensure that technical team vets if the scope of the work, technical aspect, quality parameters are as per the tender. Ensure that the project team vets it for alignment with the customer specification and timelines for delivery, etc. Ensure that the proper authority assigns the ordering document, hard copies or soft copies using software solution like Adobe Sign. Implication if strategy are not followed. Vague or incomplete terms can create dispute later. Missing clauses for penalties, warranties, etc. Lack of legal oversight, mistakes in rates, vendor non-compliance, operational delays, cost escalations. Forward-looking granular strategy 6 numbers. Avoiding single sourcing, buying, contracting by developing alternate vendors or contractors. Continuously looking for cost reduction opportunities through standardization, economic substitution of meters and processes. Implementing a zero tolerance policy towards unethical practices by immediately discontinuing purchases from unethical vendors or contractors and terminating colluding employees engaged in dishonest activities. This is the most dear subject to me. Accelerating the globalization of the vendor base if it can help enhance the technology or reduce cost, and using AI for future bid prediction or deal scoring. Increasing percentage buying share from vendors contractors who are world class. Empowering the lower hierarchy to negotiate low value category items, contracts, etc. And retaining high value category contracts with the middle or senior management team. Implications if the strategy is not followed: higher costs, project delays, quality issues, and ethical compromises. Want to deep dive with case-based learnings? What we explored today was just the tip of the iceberg. For those who want to implement these 7-stage granular strategies, 40 numbers with clarity and confidence, please refer to my Udemy course, which offers 9 cost elements, master cost structures that influence contract terms, 5 illustration, learn how real world-class examples of for cost estimation, negotiation, practical insights, 22 downloadable templates, access 3 negotiation clause templates plus 19 cost estimation templates, 140 clauses, 40 competencies for negotiation, and 40 risk strategies to for preventing such risks. Enroll today, already trusted by 6250 professionals from 125 countries, and the link is given here. Get a free copy of the free course, including case insights, in case you are still undecided by clicking on the Google form. And I shall email to you. Thank you for watching.